Space, the final frontier, a vast, seemingly eternal abyss of stars, planets, and asteroids. But in the great unknown lies many, many secrets just waiting to be discovered. Humanity has only scratched the surface, but that surface has given us a plethora of incredible information about the universe in which we live. From giant clouds of space booze to a planet with an ocean full of riches, there are plenty of amazing things just waiting for you to discover too. But first, give this video a like and subscribe to us here at All Time Numbers. We'll reveal plenty more about everything from things that are closer to home to the far-flung corners of space. So here are the absolutely stunning nuggets of information you need to know about space. Number 1. Planets are a girl's best friend. 40 light-years away from Earth lies a planet named 55 Cancri e, which is known as a super-Earth. It has twice the radius of our planet, it's visible from Earth despite being so far away in the galactic distance, and it's made of diamond. Its surface is covered in diamond and graphite instead of water and granite, according to astrophysical researchers. Literally digging up the ground would make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. Sadly though, it's far from habitable for us humans. For instance, 1 year lasts 18 hours, and it's also over 3,900 degrees Fahrenheit, the heat being a major reason why the diamonds have formed. Number 2. In space, no one will hear anything. The sound you are hearing of my voice right now and the music in the background are both made from vibrations in the air, both when they were originally recorded and when you can hear them playing through your speakers. In space, you would hear none of these things as the sound cannot be made in the first place. There's nowhere for the vibrations as there is no air. Space is, therefore, completely empty of sound and absolutely silent. The only way that astronauts can hear each other is through radio headsets and microphones for this specific reason. Without them, they would simply have to communicate in sign language or mime. Number 3. Venus is the home of the young. The fountain of youth exists, and it's called Venus, in a manner of speaking anyway. You see, years here on Earth are measured by how long it takes for the planet to completely orbit the Sun, whereas a day is how long the Earth takes to rotate. As you may know, a day here on Earth is a lot shorter than a year. However, on Venus, it takes 243 Earth days to rotate just once, whereas to rotate around the Sun, it takes 225 Earth days. A year on Venus, therefore, is shorter than a day. You can measure your age in Venus days from now on if you like, it'll fill you with youthful vigour. Number 4. Our hot cousin. Cross-pollination is the concept of moving humanity off of one planet and onto another. Finding another home for human life after the Earth has been exhausted has been on the minds of scientists and philosophers for a long time. There is a planet that is very similar to Earth that lies just beyond our solar system called Kepler-78b. While it's 80% bigger than our home, its density is the same as Earth. So that's good news, isn't it? As long as we can get there, it seems like a sure win for humankind. However, Kepler-78b is impossible to live on because it's covered in lava. Its surface temperatures are over 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. I know us humans like hot weather, but this just feels like it's taking the biscuit. Number 5. Astronomical magnetism. If two metal objects touch each other down here, the most that would happen is maybe a small clink noise. But if two metal objects were to touch in space, they would stick and fuse together permanently. This is technically meant to happen on Earth. The only thing that stops it is the oxygen in our atmosphere. That not only keeps us alive, but also creates an oxidization layer that acts as a barrier between the particles of two objects sticking. As we've already mentioned though, there is no air in space, and so this process does not happen, meaning the metal sticks together pretty rigidly. Number 6. Moon prints. Should you be lucky enough to work your way up to that lunar hunk of rock we call the moon, a little bit of you will stay behind. You will make your mark quite literally, specifically just by walking on its surface. Footprints on the moon's surface stay there pretty much forever. There is no wind or water to wash them away, and there's no atmosphere nor volcanic activity either. This means that there's nothing that can wash away the treads of your boot from the surface. The only thing that could remove it is meteorites which occasionally smash into the moon. Apart from that though, your footprint will rest upon the moon for eternity. Number 7. Intergalactic trash. Have you ever seen huge mounds of trash and thought that a viable solution would be to send all garbage into space instead? Well, it turns out there is already tons of trash in space already, and it's incredibly dangerous. This is left from decades of space exploration, and it's left a ring of over 17,000 objects floating around. It goes without saying that for those working missions in space, this can be unbelievably hazardous. According to the European Space Agency, even a 1 centimeter nut floating in space could cause the same amount of damage as a hand grenade. These can also cause explosions due to old batteries overheating in the sunlight too. So there's well over 17,000 pieces of trash floating around up there that can cause the same amount of damage as explosive weaponry. That's not worrying at all. Number 8. Best party in the universe. If you happen to head 10,000 light years away, you could not have to buy a drink for the rest of your life. This is because there, near the Aquila constellation, lies a cloud that's 1,000 times larger than the diameter of our solar system. This cloud is a cloud of alcohol. It contains so much alcohol, in fact, that it would fill 400 trillion pints of beer. Sure, it contains carbon monoxide and cyanide too, but that's just a small sacrifice. There's also the Sagittarius B2 cloud, which holds 10 billion litres of alcohol, just in case that first one's all gone. It's always good to have a backup plan. Number 9. The universe is tasty. While astronomers were looking into that very same Sagittarius B2 cloud, a giant dust cloud at the centre of the Milky Way, they came across a startling discovery. They found the chemical makeup for ethyl formate, which is the chemical responsible for the taste of raspberries. They concluded that space, or more specifically our Milky Way, probably tastes of the red fruit too. Ethyl formate also apparently smells of rum, so these scientists also concluded that this is what the universe would smell like too, as well as tasting like raspberries. Basically, it's all one big tangy cocktail party up there. Number 10. Counting stars. When you look up into the night sky and see stars, you can try and count them as a nice fun game to get you to sleep, but it's quite frankly impossible that you would ever count all of them. Strap in, because this is going to make you feel incredibly insignificant. The number of stars estimated to exist is at least 1 billion trillion, according to National Geographic. This gives us the startling fact that if you somehow counted up all of the grains of sand from every single beach on Earth, this would still be less than the number of stars that are speckled across the universe. I bet you feel small now, huh? Number 11. Ice Saturn. Saturn is an incredibly cool-looking planet, isn't it? As a philosopher once said, if you like it, put a ring on it. Well, it could be its rings that make Saturn so cool, both figuratively and literally. Saturn's rings are completely made up of chunks of pure ice, and they wildly vary in size. They can be as small as 1 centimeter wide, or an absolutely massive kilometer long. If you were in a car driving along the rings, which we don't recommend, it could take as long as a week to drive across some of them, as they are thousands of miles wide. The rings are said to be broken pieces from old moons that were destroyed by other space debris. Don't feel too sorry for it though, Saturn still has over 60 moons left to keep it company. Number 12. Uranus is a hot mess full of diamonds. The atmosphere of the unfortunately named planet Uranus is extremely cold, at hundreds and hundreds of degrees below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. However, don't let this fool you. Uranus actually has seas that are quite literally boiling oceans. These oceans get to temperatures to the point that they are able to melt metal. That's how hot they are. Due to the immense pressure and huge heat, scientists therefore think that in this ocean are hundreds upon thousands of diamonds floating around like seaweed. The combination of pressure and temperature can also affect the atmosphere too, causing something possibly cooler than the diamond oceans: diamond rain. Diamonds form from the hydrogen and carbon being put under these conditions before they fall upon the surface of Uranus, encrusted everything beneath it. Those were the incredible facts that scientists have uncovered about space. Which surprised you? Do you plan on going to space anytime soon? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to give this video a like and subscribe to us for all sorts of educational and informative videos just like this one. And we'll see you tomorrow on All Time Numbers.